am a little tin soldier that wants to jump into your fire. You are a look in your eye, a dream passing by in the sky. I don't understand, and all I need is treat me like a man, 'cause I ain't no tribe, take me like I am. I got the love that I belong to you, I do everything that you want me to, I sing any song that you want me to sing to you.
Four Faces, where does that come? I mean, how did you get involved with that?
Well, I got them fired from the band they were in.
I thought, I'll play the bass guitar. So I talked my dad into it, and we went down to buy this Harmony bass. I'd say for £45. We went in the shop, and this guy came up and said, "Hello, sir, what can I do for you?" And it was Steve Marriott.
Ronnie Lane came in and I sold him a bass, met his dad, and he said, "Why don't you come and have a sing?" I said, "I'm a singer, out of work singer." Usual load of wallop, you know. And we went down some pub in Bermondsey that night, but his band was called The Outcasts. They were quite good. Kenny Jones was in that band, Ronnie and Kenny, and they had a regular gig at this Bermondsey pub. Well, me thinking I was Jerry Lee Marriott, started on the piano and ended up jumping on it and smashing it.
He gets up, brings the house down, because Steve's voice was just stunning. And he just started to play the piano. Then he jumped on it, and then all standing on top of it, the whole pub was going wild. He jumped on the keys and stuff, and all the keys broke, the piano broke. We got thrown out of the pub. The band never talked to us again.
They didn't have a gig no more, and the band broke up because of that. So it was my fault again, but Ronnie and Kenny said, "Well, might as well stick with him, he's caused the problem."
And we were sitting on my drum kit, and the three of us just looked at each other and burst out laughing. Our manager, Don Arb, who's Sharon Arbon's father, he heard about us and we signed to him and said, "We think you're great. Don wants to come and wants to sign you. He's here earlier." And we said, "No, we're not interested in signing with anyone. We don't want to be like that." And
well, you didn't manage at all at the time?
No. Of course, we thought that afterwards, and the next day we were up there, you know. And so he offered us some money, percentage, or one or the other, and we said, "Excuse us, we're going outside." We came back and we said, "No, we want both." And that's what happened. But in the end,
you got both?
Yeah, we got both. And at the end of the day, we had accounts in the shops down here, and so we spent a lot of money on shirts. I mean, in other words, that's how we got our money, because we couldn't get it any other way. So we became fashion gurus. We were just walking about in the latest togs, you know.
I thought you'd listen to my reasoning, but now I see you don't hear a thing.
All or Nothing, that was your first #1 single. Do you have any particular memories of that song?
All or Nothing. Yes. I remember Steve wrote it. And we went in the studio and recorded it, and it sounded really good. And it came out, it was #1. My brother introduced me to Kenny Jones, and then the three of us went up, and then we got Jimmy Winston in the band. But, I mean, none of us could play, you know? I mean, I just started to play the bass, and Steve had just started to play the guitar. But that was all right. We was keen. But Jimmy Winston, he had an ego on top of it, so he had to go.
And having Mac on the show today is pretty fitting to play a Small Faces song to introduce Mac.
One that I'm not on, but it's their first hit. This was the one that my dad was watching them on Ready Steady Go, and he said, Ian, look at these guys, these are great. He said, look at that bloke pointing at Ronnie Lane. He said, he looks just like you. A few months later, I was in the band. I get a call from Don Arden, and I'd heard the name, but didn't know who he was, but knew he was important in the business. And he just said, I've got a job for you, I think is how he put it. Can you come up to my office? His office was in Carnaby Street. I said, yeah. You know, by the time I got up there, it was probably midday, I don't know. And I walked into reception, and the receptionist, pretty girl, eyed me kind of suspiciously. She said, who are you here for? What do you want? I said, I've come to see Don Arden. She said, why? I didn't know. I said, I don't know. I didn't know. I'm just coming for a job, you know. And so she went out and spoke to, obviously went into Don Arden's office, came back, said, he'll be in a minute. So I sat there, and there was 4 photographs on the wall. Small Faces, couldn't be them. The Animals, they'd just got a new organ player, couldn't be them. The Nashville Teens, they had a great piano player, so it obviously wasn't them. And this other band, the Clayton Squares, I'd never heard of them, so obviously it was them, right? And I was basically unemployed. I was a professional musician, which meant I didn't have a job. I'd left art school to follow my dream, and my dream was £5 a week at that point, and I just quit that job. So I waited around, and then eventually Don Arden had me go into his office. He said, how much are you making? And I said £20 a week because my dad was earning £20 a week as a master mechanic. The best thing I've ever done in my life. And he said, you'll start at 30. And I said, okay, this is working. And I said, and he said, and after a month, he said, you'll be on 30, or you'll be on probation for a month. And after a month, if the guys like you, he said, you'll end up on an even split. Oh my God, I'm a millionaire. I've come from poverty to millionaire in like half an hour. I said, but what band? He said, the Small Faces. Oh, fuck me. Shortly after, Steve, Ronnie and Kenny came into the room, and they looked at me, and I didn't realise we were the same height. And that wasn't a prerequisite. I didn't have to be short to join the band. And Steve just laughed. We all laughed and looked at each other, and Steve picked me up, and they all just had a group hug. I mean, it was instant friendship. I wouldn't have called myself a mod. I was off to one side. I was thinking myself more as a beatnik, you know, stage 2 or whatever. But these guys really were. They were the real thing, you know. So when I joined, like, the first thing they did was Ronnie said, well, we're going to sort the band out. Okay. We still need to sort it out. And then the next day he went to Carnaby Street and I bought as much clothes as
Well, when you've had a few drinks and whatever, and you're playing like this and there's a bunch of kids all squashed up against wire mesh fences screaming at you, that frightens you, because it's got nothing to do with really what you wanted to do. What you wanted to do was play music and have appreciation for that instead of your bum wiggling, which is basically what it was all about, all the little girls. Once the geezers go off you, the little girls come onto you, and that's frightening, because all of a sudden then you're doing gigs where bouncers are wearing knuckle dusters and punching little girls in the mush and all that. There's a frightening aspect to it. It frightened us anyway. I think our feet were on the ground. It wasn't as if we got carried away by it, and we couldn't have a go at these big geezers for doing it, or they'd hit us and all carried away in a moment. You know.
In 66 anyway, 65, 66, you go on stage and like 10 minutes in, some girls would get to the barrier and they grab Steve's hair or put his, neck chain off him, rip his shirt, and security would pounce on the kids. We'd be thrown out the door in the car away. Couldn't play.
Many people might think that the rock business is a pretty hard world. Do you think something like this perhaps gives the lie to that?
Well, the rock business is a hard world, but it's the managers and that is the hard world, not the musicians. The musicians are lovely.
Really?
Even the Rolling Stones.
Thank you.
So the end of 66, our parents are wondering and worrying where all the money's gone, because we've had all these hits, we're world famous, or famous in England, and they, unknown to us, had a meeting with Don Arden and demanded to know what was going on. And God bless them, Don Arden just turned around apparently and said, people in show business
spend money, and they've spent theirs. And they're on drugs. We were on drugs. We smoked dope every day. We took leapers when we could. We took downers when we could find them. But we weren't on heroin or anything. We didn't know anything from heroin or cocaine. That was the suggestion.
And sort of put it into a shape. I just try and make something presentable to the public, make it commercial. Anything that has some form of an image to it, I get involved in.
And he was one of the guys that just sort of said, well, you know, they won't create unless you put them in an environment which they can create music in. And that was, we used to live in the studio, and it was wonderful.
We signed up with Andrew, and after Decca Records, it was like heaven, you know, and everything was laid on, and we could have as much studio as we wanted, studio times what we wanted, and of course, we never made any money from Immediate Records. I don't know who did.
So we felt that we were in great company, felt very proud of the fact that we were on Immediate.
Andrew had been the Stones manager. Before that, he was press guy for the Beatles. And he had vision, he had great ideas. And eventually had all our money.
Here come the nights, looking so good. He makes me feel like no one else could. He knows what I want, he's got what I need. He's always there if I need some sweet. Here come the nights, it's understood. Here come the nights, it feels so good. I'll be just like you. The man gonna help you all he can. You don't need money to be wise. Over bridge of sights to rest my eyes in shades of green. Under dreaming spires to Ichiku Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there? I got high. What did you feel there? Well, I cried. But why the tears there? Tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. If a smile on my face doesn't mean much anymore, then it's all been just a waste of time. So won't you close your door? But when I look into your eyes, I feel there's still something there. That something's all I need to hold on to. I can lie to myself. I still care. I still care about the way and the little things you'd say. Won't you please come out to play?
He came in and played it to us, and it was, I remember it being slower. And Andy, this is in joke, we looked at each other and started playing with it, taking the piss. Andrew said, oh, that's great. And Andrew put it out as a single. We were on the road, I think. We were trying to get back our roots. We were trying to be the live act, and here we are, the comedy bucket. But shortly after our tour of Australia, our ill-fated tour of Australia with The Who, The Who's monitor guy, Bob Pridden, was known as Ben Pump. He used to have this expression, root-de-doot-de-doo, root-de-doot-de-die. That's where Ronnie got it from. And that's Ronnie on the track.
the Thames and rent a boat, and we actually did. We'd all got boats each and smashed into each other and got called the Scourge of the Sea and stuff like that.
It was Ronnie's idea that we could write a little story. He had the idea of having this band who looked up the moon, was concerned that there was no moon. He thought it dropped out of the sky, and it was like a old fairy story. We lived together again. We were good pals.
I remember we took a boat out, and we were out for about, 3 days, 4 days, because we had all these nice tracks with no words. You know, it might be pouring out of Ronnie, or it might be pouring out of me, but if there's someone there to sort of egg you on, stem the flow, and give you other little tangents to go on, and that to me is when you work together on something.
We wanted Spike Milligan to do the narration parts, but unfortunately couldn't do it. But we were all big fans of Stanley Unwin, who spoke in Gobbledygook and was in some of the Carry On films. We played in the songs and talked through the lyrics and what the story was all about. And then he got, okay, I know exactly. We let him work it out, and he did all these bits and pieces using the way we talked and what the story was about, and put the two together, and that's how we came up with the narration.
High wall, city, country bowl, 2 square on your body. Then I'll begin. And the fly tickling with his whiskers in his eardrobe. And off he went.
And there was an old man that lived in the greenwood. Nobody knew him or what he had done, but mothers would say to their children, beware of Mad John. John would sing with the birds in the morning, laugh with the wind in the cold hand of night, but people from behind their curtains said he's not quite right. That I'm happy just for you. Know that you're the way I do. Knows that there's every way I need you. Know that you're really afterglow of you. Love is all around me, everywhere. Love has come to touch my soul with someone who really cares. No one can deny us. People who once passed me by will turn their heads round. I'm happy just to be with you and loving you the way I do. There's everything I need to know, just resting in the such a lot of good ways to be bad.
When that wasn't a hit, that he decided it was over for him because he had failed. Now, of course, it's moot at this point because he's not here to discuss it. But I think it was a rotten choice for a single, and we needed something really heavy after Lazy Sunday. We needed 2 Tin Soldiers, but it didn't happen, and he lost interest. He wanted to get Peter Frampton to join the band. Rotten idea. We were a 4-piece band. He didn't think his guitar playing was good enough. He wanted to play less guitar and focus on singing. Peter Frampton, lovely guy, a dear friend, wrong person for the band. So Steve quit. At a gig, we were playing Alexandra Palace, and Alexis Corner happened to be there. Steve had invited him. He said, why did you come up and jam at the end? The last song in the show was Lazy Sunday, not a blues song. And it ends up on a riff, bang, 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 for a year. And it felt like it. Steve, after about half a minute of Alexis Korner trying to play a blues jam on that, Steve walked off the stage and left us with him. It was a very, very bad night. And it wasn't the last gig because we had other gigs to do, but it was the end of the Small Faces.
We all knew that we were all a lot heavier than that, and we could, you know, and I think Steve, it got to Steve a lot more. He wanted to play, you know, a bit more of the raunchier stuff, you know. We all did.
He was in the great band. You know, if he just stayed with us, he could have turned it all around, but history now.
The three of us were, it was quite tragic at the time because we were lost.
You look years younger. Have you been away? Just a weekend in Brighton. Really? Well, I've been there, but never come back looking, well, so refreshed. And even your hair, so smooth. Ah, that's because there's no washing up at the Seaview. It's so peaceful, as if...
I used to talk to him. Sue would hold the phone to his ear, and I'd say to Ronnie, I know you can't speak, but this is what I think you'd like to ask me, and this is my reply. And apparently Sue used to get on the phone saying, no, he's beaming, he's smiling like crazy, he's laughing.
And his wife Susan said, you know the little bastard, his favourite joke on me is playing dead. So he still had the sense of humour to do the only thing he could do in his condition, that was play dead. He would play like he's dead, then he'd wake up and laugh, because he thought it was so funny.
He was a rock and roll great who made Austin his home. Music fans all over the world today are mourning the death of Ian McLagan.
Steve had the voice of an old black man. I mean, his voice, just unbelievable.
Black coffee with not a thing. Black coffee, freshly ground and fully paid. Black coffee, that's what it's at.
A lot of kids today, they think they can sing. Give it some soul, mate. Marriott at it, you know.
Stuff. For me, as a drummer working with Ronnie on bass was just heaven.
I don't know how Kenny rates himself as a drummer, but I rate him extremely highly. He was 16 when I joined the band, and he was unbelievable. I mean, The Who had Keith Moon, yeah, but he couldn't keep time. Kenny could do it all.
When I heard Mac play and we all started to play together, I was in heaven because it made me play differently. It made me open up. How I see the Small Faces legacy is the fact that none of us knew how good and how ahead of our time we were.
My dad wasn't materialistic. He just wanted music to be there for the people.
Do you ever see yourself just going on stage one day and saying, I can't take this anymore?
No.
That's it.
The only way I could do that if you were surrounded by people that weren't interested. If the band itself were mercenary, or you know, that were only doing it for the money, which you know, the people that 99% of the people I've ever worked with aren't like that.
It's just a bowl of bread. You wake up every morning and it's there. So live as only you can. It's all about enjoy it. Cause ever since you saw it, there ain't no one can take it away. So life is just a bowl
So it was all Happy Dale, workload and read the newspaper load of that. And they had a wonderful party. The fly did a buzzy most round the Sealy. Little boy Blue came and left his hormones behind and stuffed his corn there with his trumpet and brought his mellow trophy. Oh dear, knees up Mother Brodie, Huckleberry my thimble, and he freaked them all out, an enormous mind blast. Oh dear. And then to the cool of the early morn, they gathered here and snooze him over. But stay cool, man, stay cool, won't you? Every day's the boy can play the song. We'll get toys for honey bang, twist for a while. Well, now we've got the hang of it. There's nothing we can't do with it. Now we're very into it. We can't go wrong. Oh, yes!
And as the sun sets over Thailand, we say farewell to the Small Faces. Next Friday night on Calamity Pop, it'll be a group called The Eclection. Until then, it's good night.